art was my tool to get to the place where I feel alive. This feeling where I can express myself and just, let it all flow, and everything gets better all of a sudden. Everything is okay all of a sudden. I call the feeling of being alive. This is just the words I use, so I'm gonna use those words through this story. Hi, I'm Yara and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to share some thoughts that have been heavily on my mind lately, and I have the notes right here so I don't miss anything. I want to start with a story. So when I was a really young child, from about, 3 to 6 maybe, my mom and I had these artsy meetings with each other. Like, we would do some arts and crafts on the weekends, I guess. I don't really remember the logistics, but I just remember that we drawn and we made things from ceramics. We painted some paintings on canvases, and she also sewed, and I had such a great time making arts and crafts with my mom when I was a child. I guess I found these little pockets of safe haven in my days in it, and it was so exciting. Then fast forward, my little sister was born, and life got busy and we stopped making art. But it always stayed with me, this feeling of, bliss and excitement and freedom of creating. So fast forward into my teenage years. I have had some really rough times when I was a teenager. I am a very sensitive person, and I also have ADHD, and I didn't know that at the time, so I just thought that something was wrong with me, with my attention, and I really felt unsafe in the world through those years. And I turned to art when I had a little pocket of time where I just needed to express myself. When I remember specifically that I went to art only when I was feeling really bad, or really like I had no other place to go. I was trapped in the situation and I couldn't get out of it. And I always felt this, anxiety, this pressure in my chest. And I remember specifically how art made me feel way better, how I could express myself. And it was just for me. I didn't have social media back then. Instagram, I don't think it existed, or at least I didn't use it until way later. And also Facebook was there, but I really didn't share any of my art. I only made art for myself, and I guess that I remember this feeling from when I was a child, this feeling of freedom and expression and joy. And I turned to art for getting this feeling back when I was a teenager and life was hard for me. And this all happens subconsciously, I didn't think about why I'm doing art. I was mostly drawing when I was a teenager, but I didn't think anything of it. I was just drawing some things. But in retrospect, now I know that it helped me greatly, and that amidst this chaotic, stressful world full of information, I found this safe haven in my art time again. And it was a really beloved tool to cope for me. And I'm gonna be forever grateful for art for that reason. I don't know, art isn't really a person or someone that you can be grateful for, but grateful for this tool that I had, I guess. And fast forward, years passed, and I was about 16 to 17 years old. And I wanted to earn some money. That is the time young people are starting to think about their careers, what they want to do with their life, how they want to make money in the future. I remember I, until this point, thought that YouTube was only for playing music. I was really retro 90s girl, in that sense that I really didn't participate in new inventions and technologies. So yes, I thought that YouTube was only for playing music. And then one day I discovered that there are YouTubers. And then another day I discovered that there are YouTubers that make art and film themselves on camera. I was hooked on an idea that I can become a professional artist and I can make my own painting videos and I can paint all the time. I can just create art and have this feeling of being alive, and I can do this over and over every day. I can feel like that. And this is what an artist's life is like. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen because this is my dream. And from then on, I was hooked, and I since then didn't want to do anything else in my life beside being an artist. Although I had some other jobs along the way, but it was all to support my art. It was not really me building any sort of career outside of that. And when I decided I will be an artist and I started to pursue it, the obstacles came along. You know, I didn't know anything about cameras and I didn't really have the skills to paint or do art, and I had this really resistant attitude towards social media, and I needed years, and I'm still like learning how to be an artist and how to earn money with this and how to actually pursue it as a career. So there came a lot of obstacles in my way, and that included feeling like I'm not good enough, feeling ashamed that my friends and my family are going to see my videos, and I was embarrassed, and self-sabotaging tendencies of my work, and feeling like I have to be like other people to be good enough. You know, all of these things came out, all of these obstacles, these things that kind of were setting back my working on this career pursuit. And I soon started to lose the feeling of being alive with my painting. Soon, when I was art time, I felt exhausted and I didn't really want to make art. And then when I was making it, I thought about how to make it good enough that other people will like it. I got discouraged by posting on social media, for example, and haven't gotten any feedback, because for a long time I was just posting into the void, it felt like. And those discouraging feelings kind of slowly shut down this feeling of being alive for me. And art just kind of became this task, you know, this task that I did. I still didn't want to quit. I still didn't want to pursue anything else. But the feeling that I remembered that art gave me from the beginning, this memory kind of drew me forward, because I didn't feel happy anymore while creating, you know. I didn't feel this feeling, but the sheer memory gave me hope that I will catch this feeling again someday. And I just hustled and kind of suffered for years and years trying to catch this feeling back, and thinking to myself, you know, if I only get successful, if only some people watch my YouTube videos, if only some people buy my art, like just a little bit, I will get this feeling of being alive again, you know. It was this mind game, and I was actually kind of dying inside. You know, I was exhausting my body, working, like painting and making videos for 12 hours a day, not focusing on anything else, not giving any attention to outsides, to nature, to my friends. I have abandoned my friends at one point. I didn't want to hang out anymore. I always said I was busy and I'm working. Simultaneously, I was embarrassed on what I was working on because I wasn't successful. So I kind of had this whole torturing moment, like self-torture. And it wasn't really a moment because it lasted for years. Slowly, I have gotten some sales. I have sold some paintings. I started to get some kind comments on YouTube and Instagram. I have started to get some views on YouTube, and I have started to imagine what it will actually be like to one day earn money solely from this career pursuit of mine. And it didn't bring the feeling of being alive back. And that shook me a little bit. You know, I was chasing something, and when I started to get it, in some ways I felt even worse. And I think I have heard this story lots of times before, you know, when people are chasing for something thinking it's gonna make them happy, and then it doesn't. And this kind of happened to me, or is happening to me. Sorry, but I had to move to my couch because I was just not feeling well. My tummy hurts today, and sitting in my chair in my art studio was kind of taking the relaxing vibes from me talking, if that makes sense. So I hope you don't mind. Cheers, I have my hot coffee here, and I'm gonna finish the point of what I wanted to say today. So what I realized was that this feeling of being alive was never about the painting itself. How I realized that? Because I realized that I felt this feeling of being alive while I was painting, and I attached those two together. I attached that when I'm painting, I feel alive. And I made it also my kind of personality trait, the part of my identity. I'm an artist. When I paint, I feel good, so I'm an artist. And when mind attaches all of those things together, it does opposite of feeling alive. It kind of defeats this feeling alive by trapping me in these rules. You know, when you really love something, I'm sure that happened to you before, when you really love doing something, and then eventually you say, okay, I'm gonna do these things on Monday, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays, and I am attach your identity to it. For example, an artist or a surfer or any kind of thing. And the magic kind of slowly goes away. And it goes away because it does not come from the heart anymore. It comes from the mental space, because the brain wants safety and wants to attach to something and make these patterns, you know, to protect itself and to make itself safe. But unfortunately, this kind of ruins the moments of present attention and joy, and it makes them robotic and soulless in some way. And this also applies to a viewer of art. I was really surprised because I thought, okay, what will make me successful, what will make me happy will be that my skill improves, and people will, of course, like my art more and more when my skill will improve more and more. But it didn't happen that way. No matter how my skill improved, my art just didn't have this soul. People felt that it was made from the place of non-passion. I guess people also get this tiny spark of feeling alive when they see a piece that came from that place. I believe that we all crave for this present moment, for this moment of feeling free, and when we can feel the life itself within us. We all crave for it through all the different things and tunnels and all the different sports and arts and careers and parenting, and some people, unfortunately, through drugs and things that are not good for you. But in the end, we are all searching for the same thing, and it's this feeling of being alive, this feeling of the life itself that is within us, this present moment when we feel completely free and joyful, and none of our problems matter anymore, and we can detach from all of our identities and labels and all of the things, and we can just exist, you know? When we can just be exactly as we are and feel totally at peace with that. It's very hard to describe this feeling, but I think everybody is searching for it, and we misidentify the source of this feeling with different activities and tasks and objects. So who is an artist then? Why do some people enjoy art and find this feeling in art and some people don't? Well, I think the whole humanity is searching for this feeling, but we are just different by default. And artist types have easier time finding this feeling through artistic endeavors, through making art or observing art, or all of the above. And that's a really great thing if we know this about ourselves, that we are artists, because we have a great portal to feeling this, to feeling alive. And that is a great thing. But that doesn't mean that we can't find this feeling in other things also. That doesn't mean that you can't find this feeling and feel fulfilled in this feeling by just going on a walk with your family, or go swimming in the river, or cooking something, or whatever. And it also doesn't mean that this cannot change, that maybe at some point you will need a little break on art and give your attention to some other activities that you would prefer to give you that feeling at that particular moment. I think everything needs rest and pause and the times of gaps. In nature there is winter, we all need to rest, and I believe that also these activities that bring us this joyful feeling sometimes need a pause. Sometimes, maybe, at least in myself I can feel it, when I felt like I needed some rest on the art to kinda, I don't know, recharge my inner artist or something, and I just forced myself to push through it, then I was losing this spark more and more. I was losing this feeling of being alive while making art more and more, to the point that it was actually dreadful to make it. And yeah, I guess that this life is a really delicate thing that needs to be really handled with care and observed attentively and managed as you go along. Or at least that is how I feel and what I have found through the years of living with myself. I find it really necessary, you know, to stop doing what was told to us, to just do something on repeat, ongoingly, because we once felt alive while doing it, but just checking in every day, all the time, as much as we can, checking in, what will make me feel alive today. And if that means art most days, then congratulations, you know, you will not lose that spark in your art if you're gonna be checking in, and if you're gonna be listening to yourself, you will not get into art block. I wanted to talk about this because I feel in myself that I am a much better artist since I have kind of realized that. Even though it feels maybe counterintuitive, you know, because if I say it's not about art, we are not really artists, it kind of sounds like I am trashing or something this part of myself, that I am kind of robbing myself of this identity or something. But it actually has brought so much more soul to my art, because I now am creating way more from this place of feeling alive and from the place where I really want to. And I would think before that this will make me make art less, but it actually makes me make art more. I am being more productive since I have learned that and started to check in every day on what will make me feel alive today. And it's okay if it's not gonna be art, it's okay, I'm still making art, I still have this dream, but maybe today I want to go to nature and I want to cook something and I want to rest. Or maybe today I want to work on my emails and on the technical stuff, technical side of my job, and this is gonna make me feel alive today. It's really just listening to this flow and stop trying to control my life. And yeah, it is going really well for me. So I thought I would share this with you. If anything here resonates with you, if you maybe felt trapped in your identities, in being an artist, you know, if you stopped checking in on what makes you feel alive, this video is for you. And I hope it helps you at least a little bit on your life moving forward. We are such a vast, diverse beings. We cannot shrink ourselves, our soul, our personality to being an artist and then sticking to that plan, sticking to that task list. It just doesn't work like that. We are so much more than being an artist, being a cook, being a parent, being a teacher. We are so much more than that. Yes, it's a part of us that we like doing art, that we are a great parent, that we are a great therapist. It is a part of us, of our doings in this lifetime, but it is not us. We are so much more than that. And it's really easy to forget that in this world of labels and trying to secure ourselves and our futures by putting ourselves into boxes and making our to-do lists. It's really hard to forget that we are vast human beings that cannot be shrank by labels, activities we do, diet we eat. We are just too big for that. And I think that's why it feels really tight and claustrophobic in this way of thinking, in this perception. I hope you liked this art talk and that it gave you something that you can take forward in your life, maybe apply it to some parts of your everyday. I really hope so. I appreciate you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel. It helps me very much. If you want to support me and this channel, you can check out my Patreon. The link is down below. I have some cool rewards, such as exclusive monthly video, which is a bit more personal than those here on YouTube, and also physical art rewards and exclusive updates that I don't share elsewhere. So this is for my Patreon. You can also check out my art store. The link is down below. Everything is linked down below. So this is it from me today. I hope you have a really, really, really lovely day. And if you ever need some creative inspiration, I am just a video away. Bye.